All right. So here we are back at the FreeCodeCamp JavaScript Algorithms and Data Structures beta main page. We just finished up with Learn Introductory JavaScript by building a pyramid generator. And now we're on to Review JavaScript Fundamentals by building a Gradebook App. All right. So in this mini project, we're going to get to review JavaScript fundamentals like functions, variables, conditionals, and more by building a Gradebook app. This will give us an opportunity to solve small problems and get a better understanding of the basics. All right. So yeah, let's start off with number one. So with step one, a teacher has finished grading their students' tests and needs our help to calculate the average score of the class. We're going to complete the getAverage function, which takes in an array of test scores and returns the average score. The average is calculated by adding up all the scores and dividing up by a total number of scores. So we've got average, sum of all scores divided by total number of scores, believe it or not, all right? So a couple of function calls have been provided for us so we can test out the code, all right? So we got these right here. Tips, we can use a loop to iterate over the scores array and add up all the scores, and we can use the length property to get the total number of scores. Those are some pretty good tips. So yeah, let's start off with the for loop. But before that, let's declare a variable let sum equals 0, right? So now that we've got that, let's cap that off with a semicolon. Let's come down here and start the for loop. Let's say for let I equals 0. Well, I is less than scores.length. We'll do I++, all right? And what this is going to do is iterate through each one of these while we, that's basically it. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say sum plus equals, and then we'll do scores at I. All right. And remember, scores at I will first be 0, which will be this one. And then scores at 1 will be this one. And then scores at 2 will be this one. And it'll just keep adding it to the sum over and over and over again. All right. And if we do a console.log sum, you can see the sum is going to be 1 and 17, and then it's going to be for this one, and for the next one, it's going to be 854 on that one, right? So now that we've got that, what we're going to do is we're going to say return. We'll just put it right here, return, and we'll say what will we say? Sum divided by scores.length. All right. And as we can see here, we've got a 71.7 and we've got an 85.4 right there. A C and a B, or a D. When I was a kid, that was a D. But they lowered the bar. Anyway, whatever. So a D and a B, regardless. Those aren't great scores. Anyway, we could change it up to get some A's in there, but whatever. Check the code. Looks good. And submit it. All right. All right. To step 2. So now the teacher needs our help converting the student scores to a letter grade. We're going to complete the getGrade function that takes a number score as a parameter. Our function should return a string representing a letter grade based on the score, right? So here are the scores and their corresponding letter grades, pardon me. So we've got 100 is A++, 90 to 99 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C. This was failing when I was a kid. I wish. Anyway, 60 to 69 is a D, and 0 to 59 is an F, all right? So we're going to remember that we learned how conditional statements, if, else, if, and what? Pardon me. We're going to remember that we learned about conditional statements, the ifs, the else ifs, and the elses. And then we're going to remember that we learned about comparison operators, greater than, less than, greater than or equal, less than or equal, and triple equals, all right? So let's do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a list of ifs statements. We'll start with the first one. We'll say if let's say score triple equals 100, all right? If that's the case, what we'll return is A. A++. Ooh, there we go. let's put a space after this if. There we go. Looks a little better. Let's do an else if. And then on this one, we'll say if, whoa. Before we do that, let's do else if, what is it? Score is greater than 89. And I like to do it like this instead of greater than or equal to 90, because then we can just leave out the equals, right? So if it's greater than 89, what we'll do is say return A, right? So now, let me cap this off with a semicolon and this one, why not? Pardon me. So now let's take from 15 to right after this closing, what is this thing called? Closing curly brace. Copy that and drop it off 1, 2, 3, 4 times, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Let's change this one to a B. Let's hold down. Let's have caps lock on when we do this. We'll change this one to a C. This one will be a D, and this one will be an F, right? Let's take caps lock off. This was just going to be an else right here because we don't need to say anything like that. So if score is greater than, what is it, 59? So if score is greater than 59, let's change this A to a 5. Let's change this A to a 6, this A to a 7, and that should take care of it. We've got an A, B, and F. A, B, and F looks good to me. Let's change this one to 100. A++ looks good. All right, check the code. Looks good, and submit it. All right. Now we're on to step 3. So the teacher is really happy with the program we've created so far. And now the teacher wants to have an easy way to check if a student has a passing grade. A passing grade is anything that is not an F, believe it or not. We're going to complete the function has passing grade that takes a student's score as a parameter. Our function should return true if the student has a passing grade and false if they don't. And here's the tip. We can use the getGrades function to get the student's grade, then check if the grade is passing or not. We could do that. I mean, we could do that. I don't want to, because what's the point? We still have the score right here. So let's just say return score is greater than 59. This will work. Okay. Check the code. Looks good. Okay. It does work. Now let's do it the way they want it to work. They want it to be, whatever. Let's reset it. And then let's do it their way. And they want us to say return get grade score does not equal F, like that. All right, that's another way they want us to do it. And we can see true, false, true, true, false, true. And as you can also see, that's more typing than the other one, but and submit it. All right, now we're on to step 4. So now that the teacher has all of the information they need, isn't it just one teacher? What? Now that the teacher has all the information that the teacher needs, the teacher wants to be able to message the student with the results. We're going to complete the student message function with the total scores and student score for parameters, with total scores and student scores for parameters. Okay, so these are the parameters. The function should return a string representing a message to the student. If the student passed the course, the string should follow this format. We'll have a class average with a colon and a space, and then the average goes here. And then we've got a your grade. Oh, there's also a period. Your grade with a colon, and your grade goes here. And then a period. And then we'll have a you passed the course at the end. Okay. And if the student failed, it's the same thing, but you failed the course. Okay. So we're going to replace average goes here with the average of the total scores. Oh, really? And grade goes here with the student's grade. No way. So here's the tips. We're going to use getAverage function to get the class average. We'll use the getGrade function to get the student's grade. And we'll use string concatenation, the plus sign, to build the message. We're going to be careful with the punctuation and spaces in the message. It's like they told us how to do it. Anyway, whatever. So let's do that. First things first, we're going to need to get we're going to have to make an if statement to say this or this, this one right here. So let's do that. First, we'll say if. Actually, first we'll say let pass fail. All right. We're going to declare that variable. And then we're going to say if. What will we say here? If we've got these up here. If passing grade with score as the argument exists, we'll say something. We'll say this right here. So let's say passing grade, and then let's put inside of there. Let's put inside of there score. So if that exists, right? Because if it does exist, this will work, and if it doesn't exist, this won't work, right? Pardon me. If it passes, this will work, and if it fails, this won't work, right? Yes. No, pardon me. It'll be true or false, and if it's false, that's what's going to go in here. Okay, that's more like it. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say if. Okay, if that's the case, we're going to say pass fail equals, and then we'll have the string you passed the course. All right. So if that didn't work, let's do an else here. Else, if it came back false, what we're going to do is we're going to say pass fail equals you failed the course. All right. Period. Don't forget the period. So now that we've got that going on, let's return what it wants us to return. This thing right here. So let's come over here. We'll say return, and we'll start off with class average. All right. So we'll say in here class average colon space, and then we'll say plus, and then after that we're going to do the class average. So we're going to come up here, we're going to do get average, and we're going to come down here and we'll drop it off. No. Get average, copy it, come down here, drop it off, and then inside of this we'll put total scores. Total. Are we still inside the thing? Okay, let's take this while we're at it and drag it up here. Okay, the total scores. All right. So then we're going to add a period to that and space, and then we'll put the rest of what it says. Your grade. Okay. So we'll say your grade space after the colon plus, and then we'll do, what was the other one? Get grade. So get grade plus get grade at student score. Student score, yes. All right, just like that. So it's this function call and this function call. And then we're going to do another one, and we're going to have the period like this and a space. And then we're going to do this thing. We're going to do pass fail right here. So we'll say plus pass fail. Passing grade is not defined. Passing grade has passing grade. Okay, that's why that's why it's better to double click the stuff that's already in the thing. Score is not defined. Total score. All right. Student score. Boom. Okay, there we go. So now we got class average 71.7. Your grade F. You failed the course. Why did we fail? Why didn't they say we passed, bro? What is the deal? Why not just tell us 100? You could have put that, I'm telling you, that's what these people think of us. But anyway, that's how it works. Let's check the code. Looks good, and submit it. All right. So that's the end of review JavaScript fundamentals by building a gradebook app. So now we're on to learn basic JavaScript by building a role-playing game. Honestly, I'm not going to re-record this. I just re-recorded this 10 days ago, and they literally just put 2 brand new lessons and steps in here for no. I'm sure, and I'm sure they're not as cool, not really as good as they think. But whatever, that's just my thing. I'm pretty much done. This is the last one. I'm telling you right now, this is the last one I'm making. And that's it. So anyway, I'll try to come up with some better content, but there's that, and we'll see you next time.